Here we are again in Julian Brady's studio. Hi Julian.
Hello.
And today Julian is going to take us through, we're going to outline this guitar grade exams, advanced, which is 6, 7 and 8. Yes?
That's right, that's right.
Got it.
Although I should say at the beginning there's a whole load of different types. There's acoustic guitar, classical guitar, there's a rock syllabus, which is very good, but I'm doing what I think is the overall hardest, I suppose, which is the electric guitar syllabus, which varies. It has a few differences. With this one, you are expected, should you wish to take an exam, you don't have to, but should you wish to take an exam, you would be expected to reasonably play a piece that you've never seen before. They give you practice pieces of a similar standard, but in the others you can rehearse your piece and perform it, really. In this, there's quite a few things that you don't get to see before and they're put in front of you, and oh, it's difficult.
Question.
It's too bad. Yes.
There's also a bass guitar syllabus, yes?
Oh, I'd missed out. Yes, there's lots of different. I mean, London College of Music do all sorts of syllabuses. That in the fretted stringed area, they do bass and ukulele.
But you teach bass too.
Yeah,
yes,
I teach bass
you
too.
Do. Excellent.
Don't teach ukulele.
Do carry on.
Bass. Oh, sorry. Yes, okay. Right. So on to the advanced grades, and things do get a bit trickier here. Grade 6 starts with a different type of scale. It's got some other scales like chromatic, which are kind of straightforward to learn, really. But insofar as the general scales are concerned, instead of playing 2 octaves across the neck like that, you have to do 5 lots of 1 octave of the same scale, which involves you getting to know your fretboard a little bit better. It's one of these things that's easy once you've practiced a bit. When you first do it, you're very not quite sure what you're doing, but you're playing the same 1 octave of whatever the scales are. I think it's a minor pentatonic or whatever, in 5 different places, and that's quite interesting, and it opens up your knowledge of the fretboard. The scales at grade 7, oh yes, at grade 6 also we get into modal playing with just mixed Lydian and Dorian modes. Grade 7 we're starting to carry on using all the modal scales, and grade 8 you need to know them pretty well. Level 7 piece Claire just asked me to do, which is, oh, no pressure. Okay, let's have a look at this example 3. So I'm looking at 3/4 time signature, repeat top line, second time round it goes there, DCL coda, da capo, there's the coda. I'll only play the first couple of lines anyway, just to give you an idea. So 3/4 ballad, nice and slow. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we can get through that. Let's get on to the lead playing. Okay, there are some good tricks involved here, and here's another example of why you really do kind of need a teacher at this thing, because there are options. When you look at a piece, up until now, you've looked at the first chord and been able to decide which key you're in, giving you a clue as to which scales you can use. Now, the first note, because we're dealing with modes, the first chord does not necessarily give you the right scale to play over the whole piece. And as we get further on, so grade 6, it could be in mixed Lydian or Dorian modes. I can easily show you a couple of tricks to get there, but the reality is that it's nice to get you to understand yourself how to work it out yourself. Grade 7, there's far more modal capability, and the rules for grade 7 are once you've found the mode, it will only change key, stay in the same mode. Grade 8, oh, you're down there without a paddle, because it will change mode and key left, right and centre, so your ability to be able to read key changes as you go needs to improve. So that's where we are with the lead playing on there. And obviously a high level of fluency is required. So not easy, but with guidance, fun, really good, and it's very satisfying, I've got to say, play a good lead over a piece which is changing key. Okay, on to the next thing, which is spoken tests. Fairly similar to the previous things. You need we're checking the fingerboard knowledge, application of scales, arpeggios and chords, the chord relationships, which is advanced and helps you with composition a lot, tone production, knowledge of the instruments, and some effects pedals and different tonal things that you can do with your guitar. All very useful things to learn. Yes. And finally onto the, actually not finally, and I must come back and say one of the big differences between the advanced grades and the intermediate and beginner grades is that the points awarded to various sections changes. There are 5 points less available for rhythm playing and lead playing. That makes up a new category at the end worth 10 points, which is your specialism, which is your chance to show off. So we'll get to the specialism in a minute when we get there, but first of all the oral assessment, which is harder. Okay, it's the same thing, roughly the same sub-subjects as before. This is what I refer to as the happy trappers, which is basically we've got triplets in there, we've got all sorts of things. You don't get to see this. Now I like to teach people where they're looking at this to understand the written form as well, because the more they do it and the more they get it, it actually helps you find the beat. And this is all about recognising the time signature. Once you've got the time signature, it's reasonably easy to make up something. If it's not identical, it'll be very similar. Okay, so that's the repetition of rhythms. We have a repetition of a melodic phrase, where the examiner will tell you the scale he's going to use, play a little melodic phrase. You have to reproduce that to the best of your ability, if you can or can't. He will then play a piece of music and you have to tell him the time signature and clap along to it. That's on the keeping time. There's a pitch test, which will be basic interval training. If you know 1 to 8, he will say something like, what interval is that second note? That one's a flat 7. Okay, moving on. Depending on the grades, these are different. The harmony test at grade 7 here is about cadence. I won't go too much into cadence, that's in the detail of it. The harmony test, I think at grade 6 from memory, is recognition of scales. I can't remember what it is at grade 8, but I'll look it up for you in a minute. So on to the last section, which is the specialism, which gives you options. Basically, it's your chance to play for, I think it's 2 minutes grade 6, 3 minutes roughly grade 7, 4 minutes grade 8, and you play what you like. And there we are, that's an overview of the advanced grades. Good luck. Yes, lady at the back.
If someone doesn't want to take the exams, but they do want to learn to play an advanced piece, whatever, you know, if it's rock or another genre, you do that as well, yes?
For sure, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to take an exam. I recommend it because, like I say, it puts you on a ladder and it keeps you up the ladder of improvement. And you come across all sorts of things that you go, yeah, the penny's dropped, and you know you recognise where other people have got their compositions from. So I'd certainly recommend it, and it gives you an all-round bigger, greater knowledge than if you were to just sit and play lead or just sit and hack out a few chords. It teaches you everything, really, as far as I'm concerned.
Excellent. So you've been listening to Julian Brady explaining the RGT LCM guitar, electric guitar grades for the advanced level 6, 7 and 8. Of course, he does also teach advanced pieces even if you don't want to take exams. Thank you very much.